Hey there, folks. This is Aaron here to let you know that there's some audio issues with this episode that I was unable to fix. We record through Skype using a program called Open Broadcast Software, or Open Broadcast Studio. And if there's a cut or a skip in the audio on Skype, it records that same cut or skip in the recording. And so there are going to be some words and some things that you're going to hear from both Ryan and Bo that sound incomplete, and it's because, unfortunately, Skype cut out on my end. It's either a Skype issue or an internet issue, and I couldn't fix it on the fly, and I wasn't going to ask them to repeat themselves, like, every 5 minutes, because God knows that would take forever. So I apologize in advance for some of the audio cuts. There's a couple episodes, I think, for this new season that are going to be like that. Not all of them, but like 1 or 2 of them that have these technical issues that I simply couldn't avoid. So I'm sorry, but most of the episodes are still really great, and this movie is terrible. Go enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, just wanted to give you a quick heads up. This week we are talking about Airbender, the first live adaptation of Avatar, the Last Airbender. Notice how they dropped the Avatar? It is one of the greatest animated shows ever, and I get a lot of people still don't consider this a kid show or even a generic anime, but here to us at evacstation is much, much more. However, we do advise do not listen to this show or watch this movie until you have seen. You can find it online for free in most few places, and the DVD collections are on sale in most major retailers. We love the original show, and rather than plug ourselves, patreon.com, evacstation, I just wanted to take a minute to tell you to go support the original release and go watch that show instead of this, please. Please, please. Please, 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 please.
YouTube, iTunes, Twitter, Patreon. Long ago, the 4 platforms lived in harmony. Then everything changed when the algorithm attacked. Only the podcaster, master of all 4 platforms, could stop him. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. A few days have passed, and our crew has discovered a new podcast, After Credits Cast. Although this show's personality is great, there's a lot to learn before they'll hit 1 million views. But I believe the After Credits Cast is a fine show indeed. Hey there, I'm Airbender with Seska, and with me today I have 2 very special guests. You know my usual co-host with me. I have Ryan Metalbender with me.
Absolutely.
And of course, this season we're introducing our 3rd host for the season, and his name is Bomi King Awamashu.
I did not sign off on that, but I love it. Bomi, anytime you want to talk to me.
And if you want to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or anything else, or if you want to follow us on your other platforms of choice for podcasts, those are all listed down below in the description. Before we get too deep into this, I just want to say, guys, it's been a year. When this comes out, it'll be a year since we started this whole podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
1 year ago, Ryan and I,
guys.
1 year ago, Ryan and I think Max was with us, we talked about the first Iron Man.
Whoa.
Those were the days.
Ryan, remember all those technical problems we had with the Hulk?
Oh, God. That was entirely my fault.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie. You're talking about the podcast.
Oh no, definitely
Yeah.
the podcast.
I completely forgot part of the podcast, which was great, which was fantastic. So we had to record it again.
We've come a long way in that year. We've done a good job. We figured for a special year of having good movies behind us, almost all the way through, why not start 2019 off with a movie that we're gonna crucify the hell out of?
Oh my gosh.
Just so bad.
Speaking of 2019, for a pretty big year in movies.
We have a lot of big ones coming up.
My son, who is like a huge movie buff, which just makes me prouder than anything, he wants to throw like a 2019 like movie party, and he doesn't understand. I don't think he gets that like dates and times yet, and the fact that when it turns 2019 that not all the movies come out at once.
Why?
He keeps talking about this part. Well, he keeps talking about this party on New Year's Eve when it turns 2019. We're gonna watch all the movies coming out.
If only.
Right.
Why
It's
doesn't it
such
work like that? That would be so much better.
Right. Like, I mean, you think about it with every and on demand and all that shit. Like, it has to be just a matter of time before that's how it works. Like, comes out 2019. Like, 1201. Just start streaming all the movies for the year. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we get too deep into this week's movie, gentlemen, what you been watching?
Oh man. Okay, so I got one for you because what I watched was very hard to watch. I was recommended to give A Handmaiden's Tale a shot by my girlfriend. Maybe yes, maybe no. Anyway, I was recommended to give this a shot, and I just watched the first episode. Holy shit! That's I want to say it is fantastically. It's acted and like amazingly, and the like the cinematography, everything about the show is amazingly well done. It's super hard to watch. Oh man, it's fucked up. It's really
pretty awkward.
It's really good,
awkward.
but it's really fucked up, and I am gonna have to power through this for this girl. So
Now, Ryan.
It's good, man. It is really good.
Now, Ryan.
It's just fucking with my mind.
I understand what you're saying, but with all this, I have one very important question about your what you're watching here. So who's the girl? Well, no. So Bo, you haven't listened to every podcast here, so let me fill you in. So before we even do an after credits, Ryan and I have gone through many tales of heartache and failed romantic conquest. So I'm always interested to hear Ryan's latest story about what he's up to in the romantic game.
Yeah, well, it's hilarious to me because after never, ever, 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 ever do a long distance relationship thing again. And then I met this girl, and I thought nothing of the fact that she lived in North Carolina. And so, hey! But we've been talking for about a month now, and it's really cool. Like she's really smart, she's intelligent, she's geeky as hell, and she's funny. Have
opposites attract then.
Yeah, because I'm none of these things, though. She's covering for all of my fun. Let me tell you. So I can handle watching a very uncomfortable show if it ups my chances with this girl. That's what you've been watching.
I think Handmaid's Tale is going to go down as a great example of a book to TV.
Yes.
Super good. I think that awkwardness, we've talked about it before in other podcasts, but they push that awkward limit to where you're just like, holy crap, is this for real? But in just a right artistic sort of way to like make it compelling to the story. And then the whole thing about it, that's a network show, right? Isn't it on like ABC?
It's Hulu. It's Hulu.
Oh, it's a Hulu original.
Oh, there's
okay.
no fucking way this would be on NBC.
Oh man, for some reason
way.
I thought that.
Oh,
Yeah.
like just the ceremony scene, man. No.
Right.
That was one of the most fucked up scenes I have ever seen. That was real. That was rough.
Are you talking about the wife staring at the handmaiden as her husband impregnates her? Oh my god.
That was man. Fuck. Oh, that was real bad. Oh, but I'm gonna watch both seasons. So fuck. All right, I'll report in on the rest of it goes. But goddamn.
At first you're like, oh, this is hot. Oh no, this is not.
No,
this is not hot.
No.
Oh no, this is even. Oh, this is awkward. Nope, I can't do this. But tramp it out. It's a really good show.
Yeah. I know I'm in for some top-notch drama, but
great acting.
Interesting. I'll give that a look. Bo, how about your week? What have you been watching?
Actually, I've hopped on. Excuse me if I don't say that. The Michael Douglas and Alan Arkin. Written by Chuck, or created. I'm sure he wrote it too, but Chuck Lorre wrote it.
The guy from 2.5 Men, right?
2.5 Men. He did Mom. He did. Oh my gosh, I've been talking about this guy all week. He did some other pretty staple sitcoms that were pretty good. Staple sitcoms with the laugh track, pretty cheesy, very network-like. But this show, he lets go of all of those sort of tropes that he used to write for, and it is very good. It reminds me of a Grace and Frankie, and kind of like a Transparent, but like more funny, not as serious. About these two older men. They are in their, twilight of their years. Michael Douglas plays a acting coach and is super charming. Alan Arkin is his agent, / best friend, and the charisma between the two and the chemistry, overall storyline, very good, highly recommended. Me and my wife, we started it on a day off and ended up watching the entire series in one day. So very watchable.
Yeah, when I went seeing small trailers for it, it's definitely something I want to check out. I might do a chaser method, Handmaid's Tale, and then do an episode of the Committee.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of bring
a palate cleanser.
Back.
We call it a palate cleanser here. Yeah, it's definitely a very good palate cleanser. It's uplifting, very lighthearted. It's if you're not trying to get into something too serious, but you want to binge on something that's not gonna totally suck your mind out of its roots. Very good show to watch.
I'll keep my watching very quick. I just watched, so I backlog, obviously, and one of the things I watched over the course of the past month or two is Rampage, the movie, the adaptation of the video game.
Oh my god, how was that?
Forgettable. Not bad. It's not bad. It has some good moments. It has some good laughs. It's The Rock doing his thing. It's not as bad as Doom, which, is his other video game adaptation movie, which, let's not talk about it. But, it's fine. It's just forgettable. There's other big monster movies you can watch that are way better.
Whoa! Did you say Rampage?
Yeah.
Are you talking negative sense?
Huh?
I think he's talking about Rampage in a neutral sense.
Yeah.
What?
Well, Bo, you're talking to someone who's
I fucking love that movie.
I'm not hating it, but I'm just saying, I've seen Pacific Rim, I've seen Godzilla, I've seen King Kong. Those are hard.
Check.
Those are hard to compare with.
Oh my god! Can we do a podcast about this, please? Oh Jesus Christ! Oh,
tune in for the May-June season. Where we're actually talking about the Godzilla movies.
Okay, check. I'm on that one. Oh man, All right. Yeah, I'm okay. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no. I don't got much more to say than that. I think it was fun for what it was, but I don't think it's anything I'm gonna remember down the road too well. I think it was all right. Yeah, I'll leave it with that.
I think The Rock is just the most charming motherfucker on television or on TV or on big screen. You put him in anything, and I don't know. It's like being hugged by a movie. He just kind of like cradles you in this certain sort of like charm, and like kind of gives you that brow every now and then. And I don't know.
Not every movie he does is gold, but they're at least entertaining for a bit.
Right, I agree.
With that in mind, let's go on a movie that's definitely not gold and may not even be entertaining.
Ay, mi Dios. Y'all actually made me watch this goddamn movie. Y'all actually made me watch this.
Oh, I was so mad at you today, Aaron. There's so many times where I just yelled, "Fuck you, Aaron." I was so mad.
Well, let me introduce this film real quick, gentlemen. So this week begins the new year and a new season with The Shyamalizing. A season dedicated to various films by none other than M. Night Shyamalan. And we begin with the absolute dumpster fire. That was Avatar, The Last Airbender. Sorry, Last Airbender, because James Cameron's expensive Smurf movie is more important than this mess of a film.
I mean, it is. It is.
If this movie had lived up to the quality of the TV show, I would say otherwise. But let's move on. You can stream it if you really want to on Roku, Hoopla, and Tubi TV. I don't know what the last one is, but I'm sure it's made up. It has grossed a total of $319 million and 731,000. And despite being double the budget, a sequel was not greenlit. Thank the Fire Lord.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say they greenlit it for double the budget?
No. So it made double the budget, but the sequel was not greenlit despite that.
Yeah, no, fuck all that. No, horrible.
Thank the Fire Lord for that. Thank the Fire Lord.
Crazy.
It stars a miscast group of children, which we'll discuss in a minute, including Asif Mandiv, Sean Taub, Jackson Rathbone. I like that name, Rathbone. Nicola Peltz, Noah Rayner, and they dragged poor Dev Patel into this. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dev, hey, at least he escaped. He got out after
I made a joke, actually, when we were watching this movie with Amanda. There's a scene where he's about to fight the guy playing Zhao, and the guy playing Iroh pulls Dev Patel aside and says, No, we're going to go to a better movie. Let's get you out of here.
I swear, it was honestly blowing my mind, because I'm starting like, there's no way. That's not Dev Patel. Is that fucking Neil Sampat from the newsroom? Are you kidding? Oh my god. I can't believe. What was he, like 14, 15? Jesus.
Dude. And surprisingly enough, this film has won 8 awards, including a Golden Schmo for Worst Movie of the Year and 5 Razzies for the following categories: Worst Supporting Actor, Worst Screenplay, Worst Picture, Worst Director, and my personal favorite, Worst eye-gouging misuse of 3D.
What, they didn't like that? They didn't like that cutting-edge 3D of a water blob just flying past your face? They didn't dig that?
I saw this in theaters when I was a kid in 3D, and I don't remember it being horrible, but again, I was a kid and I was kind of distracted. Coming back to it now, I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't watch this in 3D. I'd probably be vomiting all over the fucking room.
What'd you watch? Did you watch this first and then the movie?
I watched the TV show when I was a kid, and then I saw the movie in theaters. The parents dragged me to it one day, and was like, okay, whatever. And then I saw it again. This is what time I remember seeing it now, and yeah, no, it does not hold up. It's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
Ryan, before we get on to our initial thoughts, what are some fun facts you have for us?
Fun. Sure. Okay. Let's talk about these fun facts. All right. So Dante Bosco, the actor who voiced the series Rufio, also wanted to play Zuko in the film. Many of the producers also wanted Bosco to play the role, but M. Night Shyamalan had already chosen my boy Dev Patel for the role. Supposedly, some people also believe that Bosco, who was in his 30s at the time, may have been too old to be portraying a teenager in a live-action movie. Despite this, apparently few people to Jackson Rathbone being at least 10 years older than his character Sokka. Oh my god, I almost said Sokka. I would have had to commit seppuku right here on the podcast.
I believe it's pronounced. I believe it's pronounced seppuku.
It's pronounced seppuku. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Mispronouncing his name would have been no different from the movie to the TV show anyway, seeing how they got everyone's names wrong as it was.
They got most of them wrong, yeah.
But, Jackson Rathbone was at least 10 years older than his character. Mistaken place. That's why he looks like a grown-ass man, because he is a grown-ass man. Mm-hmm. Anyway, next up, the creators of the show, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko.
I've never been able to pronounce that either.
They both hated the fucking film and officially said that they pretend like it doesn't exist. Good on you guys. 3, Nickelodeon did not give the film any nominations in the 2011 Kids' Choice Awards, despite the fact that Airbender was a Nickelodeon Movies motion picture. And, damn, that's just rough. At least they had the good sense not to kind of rub shit all over their Kids' Choice Awards, so good on them for that. And last but not least, in spring of 2010, before the film's release, director M. Night Shyamalan was quoted by Entertainment Weekly as... I'm laughing while reading it. He was quoted by Entertainment Weekly.
Can't even say it.
God, Ryan, come on, beat. He was quoted by Entertainment Weekly as saying The Last Airbender was his best movie.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I want to put some perspective on this. I want to put perspective on this. This is after Sixth Sense. This is after Unbreakable. This is after
Village.
Signs. No, was this after Signs? It might have been after. It might have been after. No, it was after Signs. I think it might have been after Village. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh my god! You know what? I was getting ready to defend his honor in this movie. Not that this is a good movie by any chance, but I was like, my original defense of this movie when we got to it to be that this was doomed to fail from the beginning, and that there were I couldn't really fault him for the majority of the fuck ups in this. Oh no, you can fault him for quite a few of them. Key few. I was going to defend him on this, but no, sir, this is not your best movie. In fact, it is your worst movie. I don't know how I defend you after hearing that nonsense.
Actually, to give you the breakdown, obviously directed Stuart Little, which is weird, and then Unbreakable, Signs, The Village, Lady in the Water, The Happening. So he did all of those movies. Like, that's pretty much the bulk of his career. And then 2010, The Last Airbender, which pretty much sunk him because he didn't make very many movies until 3 years later, and then has made Split, The Visit, and then Glass, obviously.
Yeah. So before I get to synopsis, boys, what are some initial thoughts? Or do we want to just go straight to it?
It was god-awful. Next.
God-awful. Next.
I will give my 2 cents here. Fuck this movie.
Jesus Christ. That was brutal. It really was awful. It really was awful.
And here's the thing. It had so much potential. If you had the people on hands to take care of it the way it needed to, and do what needed to be done.
You're right. No, by Ryan's side, no, they did not have the right people. M. Night Shyamalan was the absolute wrong director to bring on this movie. If you break this down, he has like the same sort of character breakdown that he has in every movie. And that proves that he wasn't the right guy to do this because, you know, Aang, for example, or Ong, if we're talking about the movie.
We're talking
Ong,
about the movie.
every time. So, like, I'm watching the movie on my iPad today, and I'm cleaning the house, and my wife, you know, she's with me, and she's cleaning and whatnot. And every time they say, I'm like, Aang! It's Aang! And I felt bad for her because I kept yelling out random, like, name corrections all day long today. Because it felt like 6 hours it took to watch this freaking movie. But, yeah, I didn't even know what I was talking about. I'm so angry about this movie.
Well, let me.
My 2 cents on it is that I still stand by what I said earlier in the fact that this, like, the sheer attempt of condensing an entire fucking season to its story, like, it's not just a season of bullshit or filler episodes. Like, it was packed with story. To condense that entire season down to one single movie, it was already doomed to fail, in my opinion.
I've done the math, Ryan. I've done the math. 20-minute episodes, roughly, times 20 episodes. That's like, what, 400 minutes? Condensing that down to 90? That's fucking impossible.
It is. It honestly is. And I honestly think in terms of budget, there was no way they could have done bending correctly. There was absolutely no way.
I
don't think so.
Here's my
I've
thinking.
been discussing this.
Go
for it, Aaron.
Here's my thinking. This movie, I'll say this much. This movie had potential. The idea of an Avatar Last Airbender movie has potential. But every misstep was taken in getting this from the concept to the screen. And I'm looking forward to discussing every single misstep along the way with you boys, because this is going to be fun.
Oh, big time. For me, what the consensus that we came to, that this needed to be recognized by high talent producers, high talent production companies, and this needed to be turned into like the next Harry Potter, to where in order to like do all 3 seasons, it would require 9 movies, you know, 7 to 9 movies.
At least 6, but yeah.
At least
it would
6.
It would also require people who understood the source material, but that's
exactly. Another, like, what the fuck, man? How are you a movie director and you have no clue what is hard? So I'm saying, thank you. Even the response team of wherever you live at, how bad this movie was.
The Windy Apple. All right, well, let's go ahead and simmer down a little bit with a nice, fun, relaxing synopsis for you boys. And oh boy, is it a good one. Here we go. The film begins with the same intro sequence used in the show, but without actual Asian symbols used in the show for some reason. We then cut to the whitest Inuit characters, Katara and Sokka. They stand in front of a green screen.
Inuit characters, Jesus Christ.
They stand in front of a green screen, expositing for a moment before our title character, On, finally shows up to get this train wreck rolling. His release from the Ice Age sends light into the sky, attracting the attention of ethnic Two-Face. Firebenders, led by ethnic Two-Face, catch On and test his powers. On, being the title character, obviously escapes so the plot can happen. He and his reluctant white friends travel to the Southern Air Temple, where he has a cry until the exposition dragon tells him where to find the plot. Meanwhile, Zuko's backstory is exposited before a large crowd by Admiral Zhao, because exposition is the only language anyone knows, and it is embarrassing. Here we jump to the episode where Katara and On try to free Earthbenders from captivity under the Fire Nation soldiers. This is undercut somewhat when the imprisonment isn't even in a metal prison, and we see how lackluster the bending actions really are. They receive a waterbending scroll for the trouble and decide to head to the North Pole to ask Santa for some waterbending and a better movie. After some exposition, of course, let's go ahead and just break down one of the best episodes into a few lines of expositional dialogue. Cue the montage. At this point, we're just going to skip to the end. If you've watched the cartoon already, you got the better version of this. They literally just crammed 20 episodes into a 90-minute movie. You do the math. Anyway, everyone is in the Northern Water Tribe City. Zuko's assassinated, but not really. Zhao also tries to kill the moon spirit, but it gets better, and he is killed by waterbenders. Why? Because the studio didn't want to spend money turning On into a giant CGI fish monster.
Yup.
Iroh takes Zuko away from the film franchise. The village the village bows to On for saving their lives with that gnarly wave, bro, and he accepts his role as the Avatar. Finally. Enter a sort of post-credit scene where Azula is Nick Fury'd into the film, and we see the face of Fire Lord Ozai, because we couldn't have bothered to hide his face for 2 movies and build tension for the final reveal like in the cartoon show. Not when we don't expect us to get a sequel. What's the Shyamalan twist, you might ask? Despite the potential this movie could have had, we just got a handful of spunk. Fuck this movie.
Handful of spunk. Oh.
Gentlemen, let's dive into this.
It's so bad.
This might be the worst film discussed in this podcast.
Oh, man, yeah. I watch a lot of bad movies. Like, I pride myself in a lot of 80s and 90s movies that I've seen that are absolutely god-awful. This wasn't even enjoyable to watch. It was one of the longest 90 minutes that I've ever had to, like, go through. It was the most horrible bastardization I've ever seen. This movie sucked.
Mm-hmm. I want to add to that real quick. So, I'm particularly fond of bad movies because I think you can learn a lot from them when they're bad in the right way. And sometimes they're funny when they're bad. You get a bit of both. And one bad movie I see this compared to quite often, and I'm sure I'm going to get interrupted here in a minute, so let me just get my piece out. One bad movie this is compared to quite often is Dragon Ball Evolution. And while I don't think that movie is good in any way, I still think that it is slightly better than this, because while Dragon Ball Evolution is a bad adaptation, it at least is kind of funny. And Dragon Ball was something I never took seriously, so it's something I kind of could accept. Whereas Airbender, it's bad because it's not only adapting things in a bad way, it's also really fucking boring about it. Like, it's just not trying at all. It's like half asleep all the time. And at least with Evolution, I kind of could get a chuckle here and there. This one, I couldn't. All the laughs were made by me because I was making jokes at this movie's expense.
Well, there were no jokes. Like, and that was what was so nice about the original, the series, was it was so funny. Like, Aang was this little kid that didn't take anything serious until, like, certain moments, and then he would rip your heart out of your chest and you're crying on your couch as a grown-ass man about what kind of decision he's making. And they never captured that sort of, like, lighthearted spirit. It seemed too M. Night Shyamalan-y and not enough, like, fun and, you know, like the original episode, the original series meant to be.
Well, look at Sokka, for example. Look at Sokka.
I
like, in the original cartoon show, he was one of the most funny things about the show. In this movie, he is a piece of cardboard. That's all he is.
He was trying to be funny. Mercy. This poor 30-year-old man pretending to be a teenager.
Ryan, I interrupted you. Go on. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna say the having to cram 400 minutes worth of content into 90 minutes. Obviously, I feel like it took its toll across the entire fucking movie. In all honesty, you have to pick these certain really important things throughout the series to get them. And then, like, even in the focal points of the movie, you're still taking a 25-minute episode, condensing it into a 4-minute scene so that we can keep moving the fuck on. And it's just bad. It's just bad. And everything suffered. Every single thing about the movie suffered for that. And yes, that 30-year-old man was not fun. It's just the script did him no help. and I felt like he was trying, but everything was just falling flat.
Yeah.
The character. Sorry, man.
No, go ahead.
Oh man, we're. I feel like this is a hungry hippo game.
I'm just really bad at interrupting people. I'm really bad at that. No, go ahead, Bo. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, it's a bad acting, punctuation. There's so many lines in this movie where it was like the comma was misplaced in the script and had such weird pauses. And I was telling about like there's times where whole like episodes were spoke about in literally a 5-second line of dialogue, and it just blew me away how they just passed through so much emotion of the story. We're making comments about like things they passed up about episodes and like scenes they missed. Like me and her cried together in our arms about.
Now, is this with the wife or with your daughter?
With my wife.
Okay.
The kids. This was too serious for our kids. They weren't even into it. Like this is strictly like two adults watching this, like completely enjoying it. Like it was not even a cartoon. Well, I think it's one of the greatest anime, which you can argue that it wasn't an anime, but
I agree.
How it is done, you have to like recognize it and rank it. At least if it's not one of the greatest animes, it has to be some sort of asterisk honorable mention as like a could have been anime, because this was one of the greatest just piece of content out there.
So I'm going to start a new tradition, Ryan, with these bad movies, because we're going to have more of them this year, probably.
I'm looking at the rest of these notes, and oh my god.
So Ryan, I want to start a new tradition with our bad movies we do, because we're going to have more coming up, and I feel like we missed an opportunity with Scrooged, and I cannot let this go unabated going further.
All right.
We're going to bring out the Festivus poll, and we're going to give us a list of grievances. We're going to discuss all the problems with this movie. Now, by that I mean, so for those who are not actually here in the podcast chatting with us, I have 42 problems I had with this movie that I listed down. There are probably more.
Oh.
But
there are 6 positive notes, guys, and 42 grievances.
I basically channeled my inner cinema sins, and I had a fucking time with this movie. So, Ryan and I, and Bo, if you can see the list too, we're gonna just go through this. We're gonna cherry pick some of the grievances. We're not gonna read them all because we could be here all day. And I have fun trivia I would rather get to at some point. So let's cherry pick here real quick. I'm gonna pick one real quick, and then whoever wants to go next can go next. I'm gonna go with. Oh, I'm in the positives. Fuck that. I'm gonna go down to. So near the bottom of the list here, I noticed that they skipped over Katara's arc in the Northern Water Tribe.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
completely.
No, she doesn't become a waterbending master. Of course not. What are you talking?
So for those
why show a strong female role progressing in an amazing way?
Exactly. She's such a good character in the show. I mean, I didn't appreciate her as a kid, but looking back, she's so good.
One of the fucking protagonists.
She's so good, and like, man, and the whole scene with her like showing that hey, women can waterbend for combat too, and they don't even touch it. They don't even look at it. It's just not there. And like by the third act, I'm like, is Katara still even in this movie? Because I haven't seen her or heard her do anything in quite a while. Fuck that. That's so dumb.
Just to piggyback off her quote-unquote cool moment at the end of the movie was like a fucking, like a drop in the bucket for her characterization. I mean, what she gets to fight against Zuko for like 3 seconds before getting shat on, and then she gets. That's it. That's all we see of her in like the final act. That's it. That's the end of it. Oh my god. Okay. One next.
Yeah, do a positive one, Ryan.
No, I don't want to do a positive.
But what?
Okay, hold on. Okay, no. You know what? I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something fun. I will take a positive note and I will twist it because I don't agree with it.
Okay, have fun.
So,
Shyamalize us.
some of the CGI for some of the bending looks quote unquote cool. I disagree. I fucking disagree. Everything about the bending in this movie made me furious. Oh, like entirely furious. The only thing that came close to okay was the final war scene in the water temple. And again, that's the stuff that they shot for the trailer, which is supposed to look cool. But at the end of the day, you have a bunch of people running at each other, and then like 3 or 4 people doing that has some water go somewhere or some fire streak across the screen. That's it. That's really it.
See, Ryan, I put that there to be. I was putting that there to be charitable. I was not like super into it, but I was charitable. That's as far as I could go with that.
No charity. No. Unacceptable.
Oh man.
I give no charity for the bending in this movie because that is the biggest problem I have with this movie. Like, take for instance the Earth Kingdom. Like, when you get to see the prison, you have 5 Earthbenders doing this big kata, like this big ass synchronized fucking motion of martial arts awesomeness.
Awesomeness. That's the word I was thinking.
Small ass boulder.
Oh Jesus!
Across the screen, it floats across the screen. You like one Earthbender should have been able to do one move and sent a fucking boulder rocketing. One Earthbender should have been able to stomp, and of Earth should have come out and thrown somebody for a loop. That's one dude. You've got 5 guys moving in sync, in sync. And one boulder floats across. Nah, baby.
That wasn't a boulder. That was like. It was
I'm
the
being
size of
charitable.
That was that rock that my little brother picked up and threw in the river.
Charitable.
It looked like, and you could tell the shake of it was like off of the fishing string as they put it across the green screen. Like, that was just jaw-dropping, god-awful, shot to the heart of anyone who's ever loved this TV show.
I mean, you see Benders moving in the fucking cartoon, man. These guys are fucking doing the thing. These guys are commanding the elements. No.
Not in this movie.
And Ryan, to piggyback off that same scene with the earthbending, why are they even in prison? They are not. They're surrounded by dirt. Why is that a problem? In the cartoon show, they were on a metal prison. It made sense.
Yeah, they were on a floating metal prison. Like, they were on a metal prison in the middle of a fucking, boiling lake. Yeah. So, yeah, they can't earthbend because they're stuck. You mean to tell me you threw these guys in the midst of a fucking quarry and the earthbenders didn't just destroy you instantly? Come on.
Right.
Now, I will give the film some credit. That was probably a budgetary concern, but that's still not a good excuse.
They put them in a quarry, man. There were rats everywhere.
Oh no, they shouldn't have bottled that scene. Period. If they weren't going to be able to budget it properly, but fuck it.
What are y'all doing?
Bo, what's a grievance you have here? What's a grievance you have?
The entire movie. Oh no, I take that back. I'm not going to say my positive and Ryan's because I don't. But there was a couple good things about this movie. My biggest thing was there were scenes that I was hoping that, and if anyone would have done any sort of research on the resource material, they would have known that there was certain pivotal scenes that had to be played off of. One of them the best fun action that I think would have played off in the live action movie very well was in the earth moving realm, or their They're sliding around on the rocks.
Oh, the Omashu, you mean?
Yeah, that would have been such a fun scene. I think
so much budget.
Right, but like that, I think those were one of those moments, though, that you're like, all right, we're gonna put money into this scene, and there's other scenes you want to put money into, but that was just a very pivotal moment where it would have gave that sort of lighthearted break, like just having fun. And I thought that scene was gonna happen because the movie was so drab and so slow. It's like, okay, they're gonna get to the Earth movers. And then they're going to give us this scene. They're going to give us this like kind of cool runnings break of fun bobsledders going down, this Earth and having a good old time. And I was really hoping that was going to be that kind of third act breakish sort of thing. And they just kept plowing through the plot in such large steps as like, oh my God, they're not even going to get to this part. And sure enough, they just blow right through it. And I stopped the movie and it wasn't even halfway through.
Oh yeah, they montage the shit out of the best episodes.
Scene happened like 2/3. Oh man, it was crazy. Like you put like dog ear marks on where the season of the show was versus where the movie. They were like 2/3 through the season before half of the movie was over.
Oh yeah, I mean, Bo, they have to skip the episode called "The Storm" just because it's got all the best backstory to it. Bah, drop that in a couple lines of exposition. Move on.
Move on.
Of course.
Oh, dude, I felt so Shyamalized by this movie.
Okay, I'm gonna do a 1-2 punch here real quick with a couple of grievances I have. Let's see. I had one I want to do for sure, and the one I want to do for sure is where'd I put that one? Where the fuck is my face stealer?
Bro, you were never gonna get the face stealer in this
Ryan,
movie.
I wanted to see a giant centipede threaten Aang by taking his face off.
Sir, that was never gonna make it.
Oh no, I know it wasn't, but fuck Shyamalan, that should have been the centerpiece for that whole third act.
Oh wow. That would have blown people away.
Bro, if they couldn't do fucking like moon imbued oh my God, I almost said it wrong. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Moon imbued Aang, like fucking commanding the ocean and smashing people. You were never gonna get like the full on spirit world with all the crazy shenanigans, and you definitely were not gonna get the face stealer.
Dude.
No, I know. I'm still very depressed by that. That would have been so good to see.
It should have been easy to do. Like at this point, 2010 is when this movie came out, and at least the technology and the CGI with water they've had nailed pretty good. That should have another pivotal scene where they really put a lot of effort into, but just so crappy. I say crappy 'cause I'm tired of swearing about this movie.
Yeah. Well, I have so many grievances I want to pick. I'm gonna be very picky here. So, after Zuko saves Aang for being captured with the blue spirit mask, there's a moment where Aang has to save Zuko, gets him away from the whole thing. The two of them are in the forest, and Zuko's and Zuko's waking up, and Aang's just kind of sitting over him for a minute. And in the cartoon show, Zuko wakes up, and Aang posits the question of, if we had met under better circumstances, we might have actually been able to be friends. Because if you look back to the story of the series, they have so much in common, and Aang kind of feels like that's the case, and he wants to kind of make some sort of bridge, an olive branch, so to speak. He doesn't drop that line in the movie at all, and he just kind of goes away. And I'm like, so you're not going to build up anything? You're not going to hint at a better relationship? You're just going to pull him aside and move on? Okay.
He actually does say that, though. He actually says we could have been all of 2 seconds and then they fucking move on. But
right.
Yeah, it's actually said.
I caught it.
I felt
that was one of those moments.
I felt like that scene was rushed somehow. I think maybe it was.
It was definitely rushed. It was absolutely rushed.
Maybe what I missed. Maybe what I'm misremembering is that Zuko didn't respond. He just kind of like just took it and Aang just disappeared or some shit. He fucked off and Zuko's like, okay, whatever. Because I remember
it was one of those angry moments where I kept like you would hear that like we could have been friends. It's like, okay, is this going to be a scene? Are they going to slow it down? And then next thing you know, a completely different part of the storyline. Like there's so many little moments like that you would hear, and they just blew through. That just would anger you. Like this is the reason why this whole thing should have been 9 movies altogether, because of how fast it just blew through it.
I do have a question though. So this movie takes a lot of time it takes a lot of time away from Katara and her character building. It takes a lot of time away from the relationships of Aang and Zuko and kind of showing how parallel their stories are. It does a lot of taking away from that. And it adds time to a weird subplot that doesn't really gain any traction, and I don't get why. Does anyone understand Sokka's insane interest in starting some kind of weird rebellion?
I think that was in response to him, like,
because like
kind of getting. Go ahead.
Because it kind of distracts from the main plot. It was never part of the show. His whole goal was the same as everyone else's: get Aang to learn the elements and get him to save the world. This just feels like so tacked on and in the way. I don't get why they're devoting time to it.
Well, keep in mind that Sokka's dad, like Sokka and Katara's dad, is he's a warrior. He's off fighting for it, like in the army of the Water Tribe. So there was always that part of him that wanted to be a mighty warrior and wanted to, take after his father's footsteps. That's definitely not played up until like the later seasons. But yeah, I think that's a part of his character. They just put it in a place where it absolutely is not relevant to the story.
Mm-hmm. I remember they do have a rebellion and they do the Bay of Black Sun. But like,
that's my half-assed defense of this movie. Like honestly, I can't muster the strength to fight for this movie. It's not worth it.
I mean, one of my favorite I say one of my favorite episodes when like, but when he goes and sees the sword master and he learns the ways of the katana, so good.
And the fucking
yeah. Well, it adds so much depth to each and every character that played. I'm totally gonna I'm rewatching this series tonight.
You should.
I have to.
You should.
Oh, dude. But like, in the character, the way that he portrayed, like yeah, he was older, but he still looked like the part, But his acting was so awful. They were so like dry when it came to like his line delivery. He was like a certain level of comic relief. He's kind of like dumb and whatnot, and they never played up that sort of like comedic element to the movie.
I was a grown-ass man hanging around with kids. What the fuck were we doing here?
Now, I have one more point I want to bring up, and then if we feel like we needed to touch more grievances, we can. Otherwise, we can move on to trivia. But, so, Appa is there in the movie for, like, maybe 5 minutes. I mean, I feel like he was there in the beginning when they were in the Southern Water Tribe, and for, like, 1 or 2 transition shots when they were flying. He kind of wasn't there at all for, like, the last half of the movie, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
I think...
Fucking giant bison just disappeared.
Too expensive. Like his like when you saw him,
it was just too much budget. Too much budget.
Had to been, because like when you saw him, he looked amazing. He's one of the positive notes I made of the movie. Like there's a scene where he's floating in the water, and it really like from a visual aspect captured the TV show, and I bet you versus all the other CGI and everything, he was too expensive to show, so probably the easiest way to cut out, because the fact that they forced so much.
Alright, so I have trivia, but before we get to it, is there any other grievances you want to air, any other feats of strength you want to discuss about this film, or is this just...
Positives. Let's get into the positives. We haven't said anything positive yet.
I will say one positive. I think the costumes are fine. Outside of the generic Fire Nation armor, the costumes were fine.
Fire Lord Ozai looks like he's a Roman soldier, but that's
Yes,
not
he
very
did.
over there.
He looked.
That's
he
why.
looked
That's why I
like-
said not the Fire Nation stuff.
He looked awful. Everyone else looked good, but that was
like
so
the fire,
awful.
like the Fire Nation is the Romans,
Right.
They're Indian versions of the Romans.
Of characters
he
who were
looked like-
originally supposed to be Japanese.
Never fucking mind. Apparently.
Oh my god.
Life.
So that wasn't a positive. Thanks, Aaron.
Hey, no,
It was his positive. It was his positive. I decided to shit all over it. I'm sorry.
Well, Ryan,
No,
when you
I'm
did-
shitting on it too. That's
Ryan,
2
when
out
you,
of 3. That was not positive. That sucked.
Ryan, when you give a positive, I'm gonna shit over yours too.
Man, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. What the? I'm fucking
I got it.
Okay, I'll shit over Bose instead. Bill, what's your positive moment?
All right, now hear me out. The score was amazing.
It's
It
not.
was amazing.
It doesn't have the
I
same
kept
like. It doesn't have the same like. It doesn't click with my memory as much as the original show, but it didn't offend me. I'll go with that.
Yes, the
Look at-
music was non-offensive.
The music score was done by John Michael Newton, which did The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. And about halfway through the show, I realized like the only good part about the show is the score. So I researched that, and it made sense by how much dramatic effect that it actually like brought to the movie. So, but in criticism, to shit on my own positive, you notice the musical score, that's a mark of a bad movie. The music score is,
Didn't we discuss this recently? I disagree.
I disagree too.
right. I think when you're a big fan, you look at different elements of a movie, and so it's okay to notice when the score was good. But at the end of the day, when it's that noticeable, that's a sign of a really shitty movie.
No. I disagree. I will say bad music where you notice that the score is bad. Definitely, yeah, I 100% agree with you. But there are moments in movies and a musical score where the music uplifts the scene and makes it so much more than it is. You can still notice it, and instead of it detracting from the scene and taking you out of it, it's enhancing the scene and it's making it that much better. So I disagree. I think there are some moments where you can notice the score, and instead of taking you out of the movie, it puts you that much further into it.
Again, I will cite the example, Phantom Menace, the Duel of Fates, the best music score to scene than I can think of at the top of my head. It accentuated that fight to a whole other level.
I got you. I agree. I agree. Disagree.
Oh, you're fine to disagree. It's perfectly fine. Ryan, do you have a positive we can shit on, or do you want to move on?
Fuck. The movie wasn't that long. It didn't drag. That's nice.
The pacing was surprisingly quick. I actually do agree. It was for me. It felt like it was just going at a brisk pace. I'm like, oh, this is we're already at the episode where Aang gets kidnapped. Oh, so this shouldn't have happened for another 5 hours.
That's the one positive I get, because this was torture, but at least they didn't waterboard you for a full 2 hours. So yeah.
Oh man, I disagree. This is I kept checking.
Would you rather that in a
no, I think he was going to say it felt longer to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kept checking to see how much time was left, and I was like, what? I've only watched 6 minutes of this. Like, checking it again, like, what? Only 5 minutes has gone by? It felt like one of the longest movies I've ever watched, ever. It just kept dragging on. And what's weird is they kept forcing so much, like, storyline down your throat. I was blown away by, like, how far along they had come, and then to look at like how much movie was left was like, these ratios are completely off. So it just made the movie just seem long as fuck.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are long as fuck, we're going to discuss some trivia here. Before we get to that, we've got a mailbag section where you guys can submit questions, comments, complaints, or your own thoughts about movies to our Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, or our lovely email. Ryan, can you bend us that email?
Yeah, that is 5 fucking moves to create a small gust of wind at gmail. Oh, I'm sorry. That's evacstation at gmail.com.
Evacstation at gmail.com.
That was clever.
I like it. So, gentlemen, I have trivia for you. I went overboard with the trivia and put a lot of questions here. So I'm going to give you 2 of each. Each of you get 1. One easy, 1 medium, 1 hard. Okay?
Right.
And we're going to see who wins. So, first question is first. Ryan, other than Aang and Korra, can you name 3 former avatars?
Ooh.
Oh,
shit. Okay, let's see here. The one right before Aang is the Firebender. Oh my god. Hold on. Just give me a second.
I give you a hint for that one. That's actually kind of funny.
It's not Susan. No, that's the comet.
His name is also a device used for streaming services.
Oh, okay. Avatar Roku. Thank you.
It's an easy question. It's an easy question. I gotta give him something.
Okay, so Avatar Roku. The one right before that was the Earthbender. What's her name? Fuck. Hold on, I'm gonna skip that one for a hot second. I'm gonna go to the first Airbender, Wan. The first Avatar, Wan, because
I knew you'd get that one.
He was the man. Yeah. Fuck me. What is her name? Inspired the Kyoshi Warriors. Is it Avatar Kyoshi?
You are correct.
Yes. Yes. Thank God.
You were overthinking a little bit. I appreciate that.
I almost tripped my damn self up.
Okay, I'm gonna give one to Bo now. Since I gave Ryan one with multiple answers, I'm gonna give one to Bo with multiple answers.
Hold on, Aaron.
Yeah.
You know, as we've talked about this show, spent many hours talking about this show at work. I've always told you I can't remember any of the characters' names, so I'm so glad you didn't ask me that question, because I would have felt like a personal assault against me.
No.
History would talk about this show.
I feel like you have a chance for this one, Bo. Okay, it's a 2-part question.
So.
It's a 2-part question. It's about firebenders, Bo. What day are firebenders at their most powerful, and when are they at their weakest?
Oh my
god. Full moon is when they're at their strongest. That's when they take the attack on to the water city at the end of the first season, correct? And what was the second part of the question?
When are they at their weakest?
Oh, their weakest would be new moon, when there's no moon.
You are very close. That would be for waterbenders. For firebenders, it would actually be the eclipse of the black sun, when the sun's eclipsed. Oh
yes! Oh my god, I'm so angry at myself. Yes, that was such an.
When he mentioned the moon, I was like, "Wait, man, talking about waterbenders?"
That's what I thought too. I'm gonna let this slide and see where this goes.
Because I see it in my head, like I see the scene. It was so traumatic with like the ships crossing. But you're right, it had the red tint. It was the
Yep.
Oh man, I'm so angry.
I will give Bo.
Bo,
I will give you one chance for recovery here.
Okay.
What is Sokka's sword made from?
Metal.
What kind of metal though?
I have no idea.
It's very specific, actually.
Yeah, I know. I just, like I said, I can't remember the specifics.
That's fine. It's fine.
I can't remember.
At the beginning of the episode, a meteor falls down, and they have Toph metal bend it to where they needed to go to make a sword out of the meteor.
Right.
I mentioned that earlier.
I always choke on the. I choke so bad on these. They're so specific.
All right. Let's get on to the medium questions here. Ryan.
Medium.
Ryan.
Do we start off with the hardest questions first?
Ryan.
No, B.
What is the symbol of Toph's rich family?
Oh, dude, fuck. What? It's a crane.
You're going to go with the crane?
It's a crane. Yeah.
The answer is a flying boar.
Fuck me! I forgot. I completely forgot. I thought. Wait. Damn. Was it a flying boar?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I'm dumb. That's fine. Okay.
All right, Bo. Your medium question. It's another two-parter, but I did drop the name earlier, so I think you might get this. What is the name of King Boomy's city, and what is it renamed to after the Fire Lord takes control of it?
Say that again. Repeat that question.
Yep. So what is the name of the city that King Boomy owns, and then what is it renamed to after the Fire Nation takes control of it?
Jesus Christ. This is absolutely embarrassing. I have no clue. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I have no idea, man. You're killing me with the names. Ask me a better question.
All right. I'll ask you a better medium question here. How about this one? What kind of animal?
It was Omashu, by the way.
What kind of animal is Appa, and what kind of animal is Momo?
A lemur, a flying lemur monkey. And then, man, let me cheat real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna put you guys on.
At least he's honest.
I respect the honesty in his cheating. I will give him extra points. Honesty earns points here. All right.
There's a flying bison of some sort.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, I put you on pause to ask my wife, but she looked at me like, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So I have the hard questions here. Here we go.
Hard questions? Oh, God.
Ryan.
Hold on. I need to tell my wife to start Googling Avatar real quick. I guess I could mute this and not say anything, right, guys? Sorry.
All right, Ryan. I have a lot of multi-part questions here. I'm going to give you a simple one, okay? This is not a multi-part question. This is just going to be see if you can guess what is going on here. What is something both of Sokka's love interests have in common, aside from being Sokka's love interests?
Okay.
You're gonna kick yourself when I tell you what it is. You don't know what it is.
Okay. Let me see here. Both are interesting, well-developed female characters. Let's see. Yue has white hair, where the Kyoshi warrior has white face paint.
You want me to tell you?
Hold on. Give me 1 second. He's supposed to. He. According to him, he's supposed to protect both of them, but neither of them need his protection because they're awesome.
You're hitting some good ideas.
That's really all I got, man.
All right. So the answer I was looking for, one is named Yue, one is named Suki. Both their names actually mean moon in a different language. Yue is Chinese for moon, and Suki is Japanese for moon.
Oh, wow, really? That's awesome.
That's the most fucked up trivia question I've ever heard.
How the hell? There was no way I was going to get that, but that's really cool.
It's a hard question, Bo. It's supposed to be tricky.
Jesus. It's an impossible question.
All right, bro. I've got one for you. Are you ready for this? I made it very simple for you. Made it very simple for you. It's a true or false question. It's a true or false question.
Get my Google machine real quick. Okay.
Okay, true or false, Bo? The character of Toph Beifong, that's the little blind earthbender, she was originally planned to be a large, bulky man. True or false?
False.
Actually, the answer is true.
Oh my god!
During some behind-the-scenes stuff, the intro sequence you see where they show the four benders in the like earth, water, etc., etc. The silhouette you see for the earthbender was the original design for the earthbender, and they even carry that design over to the boulder.
Oh wow, that's really cool. I really like that.
Interesting. And I'm so glad that he wasn't, because she's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, she's my number one favorite.
Yeah, you've always really liked her. And she's the most funniest, most sarcastic character.
Another reference to this fact, though, is in the Ember Island Players, where Toph is played by a large, bulky man.
Oh, I love it. I love when the creators make references to like past shit that they were thinking about, and just it kind of gives you a little creative process in the midst of it. That's really cool. Notice how the only time we've gotten positive in this podcast when we were discussing the fucking cartoon.
Indeed. And then I have one final question that you guys, there's no point to this one. I just want to see if either one of you know it at all. Whatever happened to Zuko's mom?
Oh, Zuko's mom was imprisoned by the Fire Lord. I can't remember the reason for it exactly, but he goes off and searches and rescues her eventually after he becomes the Fire Lord at the end of the series, right? It's like in the comic books?
Yep. You want me to give you the details of that one?
See, I can't get points on that one, even though that's the one I just knew off top. Yeah, no, go ahead.
So for those who don't know, it's in the comics, by the way. Go check them out. They're really good. After her banishment, she returned to her hometown, rekindled her relationship with her old boyfriend, and requested a creature known as the Mother of Faces to change her identity and wipe her memories of Ozai and the whole life she had with him. She eventually gets reunited with Zuko, who restores her memories, and now she lives in the Fire Nation with her family.
Oh, God, I was about to say, I'm like, wait, what? The fucking face do it? No.
No, it's someone who doesn't take faces, she gives new identities. It's a really cool concept. I kind of liked it when they did that in the comics. It was pretty neat.
Okay.
Alright, so we are going to do a quick review of the Last Airbender movie, because I totally remembered to put this at the end to record it as you're playing it. No big deal. So, on a scale from platinum to shit, of all the colors in between, we're going to rank Last Airbender. Gentlemen, I'm pretty sure we all know where we're going to land this one, or pretty close. Where are we ranking this movie at?
Platinum! Because I always...
Can we call it platinum covered shit? Because
yeah.
I'll give you that, baby.
No,
this top tier shit right here. This is creme de la creme of shit.
Oh, lowest of the low. Yeah, this is the platinum of... This has to be one of the worst movies that I've seen of all time. And I've watched a lot of shitty movies. Even if I hadn't seen the cartoon series that is the most amazing cartoon of all time, this still boils down to the absolute worst movie ever.
I'd say I'm borderline between dirt and shit, only because I see there was potential here at one point.
But the fact that it set up for those clever things and then failed abysmally at them made the movie even worse, because it had a shot of being good and then it let me down all over again.
Exactly.
Yeah. You guys are right. I'm still close to the edge, but I'm going to go with the shit section with you guys.
Get down here!
Get down here now.
Like I said, there's a glass roof to this thing. It can see the potential somewhere. It just lost it long ago. So long ago. It's so sad.
Indeed.
But okay, so that is our Last Airbender cast, and I actually wanted to bring up one thing real quick, and that's that the main reason we're doing this is not solely to rag on a movie. I mean, it's still kind of fun to do, but because Netflix has announced they're going to be doing a live-action Last Airbender series with the original creators of the original show. And I thought this is kind of relevant to bring up, because that's supposed to come out in, I think, 2020 maybe. So, hey, this is our precursor to that. Let's see if this new show will beat the low bar.
I'm really worried about that, honestly. Like, I wasn't as worried
until you
and
saw
now
this.
That I saw this, and I was just like, oh shit, no. The Netflix, is it supposed to be a series? A live action series?
I think it's supposed to be a series, yes.
Okay, then I'm less worried about that. But it's still going to take a shit ton of money to do bending like it should be done. So...
Agreed. I think...
And I swear to God, if they pull that bullshit where they're like, oh, firebenders can't create their own fire, fuck you. That's fucking...
It makes them far less threatening.
God damn it! You summon you create fire with your chi, and you fucking bend it. That's being a firebender. Oh my god!
Oh man,
firebending! I lost my goddamn mind when I saw that. I was like, guys, the day will Sozin's coming is coming in 3 years when all firebenders will have the most powerful move to fucking create their own fire. I'm like.
Fuck! Wait a minute. Yeah,
we're never gonna see people throw lightning.
That's another grievance right there. They said 3 years, and the cartoon show is less than a year.
Yeah. So I'm like, God damn it.
It's like there's no tension in 3 years. Aang can learn everything in like a day if he wanted to. Fucking what the fuck, movie? I'm out. Let's wrap this shit up and move on to the next one. So thank you guys for watching. And again, follow us on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter. You can get to find us on your platforms of choice. And make sure you rate and subscribe to us and rate us on your platforms, because the higher ratings we get on iTunes and such, the more visible we are to other people on iTunes. So help us out. That'd be great. And of course, patreon.com/evacstation, and $1 a month can help us keep the lights on around here. We're running a little long, so we're going to go ahead and see you after the credits.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Watch the TV show, not the movie.